The Derry Conservation Commission meeting to order. I'd ask everybody to please silence their cell phones, and we'll start off the meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have a big group tonight. The exits, in case of emergency, the exits are located in the back of the room and to my right. If there's a problem in the building, please do not use the elevator. If you need assistance, please get assistance from one of the commissioners or the people in AV. We're going to start the meeting off with an introduction of commissioners, and we'll start to my right.
Christopher Morlock. Jay Hildreth.
Rick Metz.
Eileen Chabot, good evening.
Val Connolly.
Beth Carver, Land Manager.
I'm the chair, Riccardo Buzzanga, and I'd like to introduce our council liaison, Charles Foote. Mr. Metz is going to remind me to speak loudly because our secretary is doing the minutes from home. She's not feeling great. So I'm going to try to get a little more volume on this. And especially if we're going to be doing any type of votes or roll call, please state your name loudly so Tammy can pick it up on the broadcast at her home. Our first order of business is the approval of minutes for February 2nd, 2026.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
So we have a first by Val, second by Mr. Metz to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? It's unanimous. Thank you. Next is the chair's report. Chair is reporting that we are a busy commission. We have Beth working on a number of projects right now in our weekly phone call this week. That I think was our longest one so far, Beth. We went over all of the efforts the commission is working on, and Beth will expand on that during her report coming up. The only correspondence we have you'll hear about during our report by Val. Which one is it, Val?
Reporting compliance.
Reporting compliance. You'll hear about our correspondence during reporting compliance subcommittee report. Our first order of business tonight is to dedicate a property, it's known as the Gulf Road property. And remarkably, that property was acquired by a while ago when a commissioner by the name of Gordon Graham was the chair. I don't know if did you know that, Gordon? Yeah. Yes. So when I was working with Mike on putting this together, we had to get the minutes from the meeting, and I said, "Isn't that great that Gordy was chair during that meeting?" So
I knew it would go to her eventually.
you did. You had it. It was in the plan, right? So
Taught me everything I know.
and me, both of us. So when I took over as chair over a year ago, Beth reminded me at our phone call the other day. One of the things I wanted to do is we have a number of properties in town that don't have a distinct name. They just have an address or whatever it may be, and I didn't think that we were doing them justice by just calling them by the name of the road. So we thought about starting to name those properties, and you know, the first thought I had was you, Margie, because you were the person that mentored me when I first came on the commission. So it was an easy choice for me on who we were going to name the first property after. So I have two proclamations that I'd like to read, and then I'm going to have Margie come up, and we have a plaque. This is going to be posted at the property at Gulf Road. And it reads, the Margaret Ives Conservation Land, Town of Derry, New Hampshire Conservation Commission. So it'll be posted at the railhead. Okay, first proclamation. I want to get this right so we can get it in the minutes.
Rick, really loud.
Really loud. Oh, and can I get any more volume? Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. You are? Even, Margie, can you hear me?
No.
Let's get a little more volume.
That's all right. If you go slowly, I'll, is there a copy of it?
Yeah.
Do you have an extra copy
Yes.
of the proclamation so you can read along?
I'm going to, how's that? Is that better? I'm going to take just a 1-minute break, okay? I have the draft, I think.
Want to put a chair up there, closer?
She just needs to read along.
He's looking for one.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have the draft. I might. Then what I'll do is I'll read it, and then hand her that one, and then read the other one, okay? All right.
All right.
So the first one.
He's going to read it. Try and hear.
By recommendation and unanimous vote of the Derry Conservation Commission and further ratification from the Derry Town Council, the conservation property located at 23 Gulf Road will officially be named after one of Derry's long-term steward of conservation. This property will be officially be named and known as the Margaret Ives Conservation Land. Riccardo, Buzzanga, Chair, Conservation Commission.
That is wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The second proclamation, this is from the Derry Town Council. This one's a little more complicated. Whereas Margie Ives has dedicated countless years serving the town of Derry, committed in making her community a great place to live, and whereas beginning in June 1982, Margie was appointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustment, where she served from June 1982 to June 1987. And whereas from 1997 to October 2024, Margie served on the Conservation Commission, where she served not only as a member, but as vice chair and chair for many of those years. And whereas she was elected town moderator in March of 2004 and selflessly served the town of Derry through March 2016, and whereas Margie has put countless hours in educating the public about the environment, protecting natural resources, managing open space, regulating wetlands, along with acquiring and managing conservation land for recreation. Now, therefore, in recognition of Margie Ives' lifelong dedication of service to our community, we, the Derry Town Council, acknowledge, honor, and extend sincere gratitude and appreciation for her commitment and contributions to the town of Derry. Signed, the Derry Town Councilors.
Okay. A photo op. Where do I get a photo op?
Right up in front of the,
Right up-
right all the way around.
Right where the chair sits.
Right over here.
Oh, over here?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, this is wonderful. Thanks.
We're going to be on Instagram.
She doesn't give you permission.
gotta get the T-shirt in.
Yeah, I noticed that. She's got her company shirt on.
You gotta get the T-shirt on. She's got the Air Conservation Commission.
Oh, wait, here's your plaque. See the plaque?
Yeah, I saw. Thank you. That is wonderful.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
This is for her.
Yeah, that's great. This is wonderful, you guys. I really appreciate this.
We really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Stewards, that's
Get him for one, Woody? You get it for one?
Yes, do it.
We're the bookends. You put it on the book and.
Okay.
That's good.
She's the
Oh,
rose.
good. You got it? Yay.
One more here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right.
So, this is going to go on the property.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Margie. You're welcome.
Stewards.
All right. Shows you back to this, and then I'll get bring it back.
That was great. Thank you so much. Thanks for everybody for coming and sharing that moment with us. I can't stress enough how much Margie has influenced me on the commission. You know, when I came on, must be 14 or 15 years ago. You know, I had to learn quickly, and she was a good teacher, great teacher. We hope to do. Go ahead, Gordy. I'm sorry.
I was wondering if I could just say a couple of quick words.
Sure. What you probably need to do it here at the mic.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
That's the attorney chair.
So, just a couple of quick words, if that's okay.
Of course.
About how proud I am of my aunt. She and I used to hike everywhere. She taught me how to camp. We used to camp in the Poconos when I was a kid. She has loved the out of doors and taught me to do the same. I am fondly remembering the two of us when she was about, I think she must have been 30, 35, and I went and climbed Mount Washington in the fall one year, and we got all the way up to the Lakes of the Clouds hut, and they turned us around because it was snowing so hard and we weren't quite prepared for the snow. And we hiked down the Ammonoosuc Ravine Trail, and the two of us turned around and looked at each other and went, well, we're not done. And we went back and climbed up Mount Adams instead. She is an outward bound Girl Scout, champion of saving every tree, every bush, and she just loves the out of doors. Always has. And it's been an honor. She's why I joined the Conservation Commission in 1980 and worked with Fran Cormier and others to begin the purchase of property in town. But she certainly has given her life to this community, and I could not be prouder of her, and this is a great honor for her. And I know she thanks you and the council and all of you for your work in getting this done. And I really, really appreciate it on her behalf. So thank you.
Thank you, Gordy.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I've been asked if it's wheelchair accessible, and my answer is yes, because one of my friends said, who uses a wheelchair, wanted to know if she could go there. And to my knowledge, my memory of it is, it is. Does anybody have anything different?
Beth, what do you think about it?
Might get stuck.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say wheelchair accessible, but it is kind of flat. So, yeah. So, maybe. I'm sorry that I don't have a definitive answer. Yeah.
Margie, you know what you just did, Margie? You just gave us something else to
That's
work
right.
on.
Yeah, there we go. We'll put it on the list.
That could be a job for the Boy Scouts
Yeah.
or Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, on your honor.
Yeah.
Here you go. Get a badge. Right.
That's right.
All right.
You just put another item on Beth's list, I think.
All right.
All right. So just to close this out, so this was the first dedication that we've done. Probably going to be the most important one for me because I told you how I feel about Margie and her work in town. But we hope to get any of these properties that don't have proper names to get them named over the next year or so and have a number of these dedications. I think we owe it to the community to have these properties have a name and have an identity. But thank everybody for coming. You don't have to stay because the rest of the night's going to be pretty boring. but thanks for coming out.
Thank you all.
George, good to see you.
So we'll just pause for a minute, let people shuffle out of the room.
Should have invited them to stay.
They want to go eat.
sound in 5, 4, 3.
Okay, Derry Conservation Commission is back in session, and the next order of business we have is the NHACC Landscape Scale Management Initiative discussion. We've allocated 20 minutes for this. We do have the representative from NHACC joining us via Zoom. Does she have mic capabilities?
She should be able to speak now. She unmutes herself.
Okay. You want to say hello?
Hello?
There you are.
Yes, hello. Can you see me now?
I don't think that we'll be able to see you, Barbara, because I'm sharing my screen so that we can look at a map of the property, but we'll be able
Okay.
to hear you.
All right, that sounds great.
Okay.
So Barbara, if you
Well-
need to be heard, just shout, because we're gonna need to know you want
Yeah,
to
just
chime
interrupt.
in.
It's fine.
And I'll try to
Great.
check
Well,
in with
thank
you from
you
time to
for,
time and ask you.
Thank you for allowing me to join again remotely. I had knee surgery last week, so the timing seems to be really bad for these meetings and my unfortunate knee. But I did want to, again, bring up the opportunity for some outreach programs in Derry, and again, focusing on some of the stewardship best practices that you have on some of your town properties. And I think tonight, if we could look at a couple different properties, or if you've kind of narrowed it down to a property you're most excited about, we could talk about some of the ideas that you have for promoting those practices on your property, or just maybe give me a little more information on what's exciting about the property, what you've been doing in the last few years, and we can kind of talk about how to move forward for a more public engagement and, involving some of the abutters in some of those land management practices as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly summarize some of the bullets that I shared with you all via email. So we discussed a couple properties, and based on the feedback that we received, the conversations that I had with Barbara and the conversations that I had with Riccardo, we are leaning toward Broadview Farm, which, and of course my screen goes blank right when we're ready to talk about it. So we're leaning toward Broadview Farm for a number of reasons. So parking is kind of an essential need of having this kind of programming, right? We want to be able to invite people to the property, and they need to have some place to park. Broadview is one of the few properties that we really have like a good parking infrastructure at. And then probably because of that as well, it's one of our best known and most used properties for sure. So that offers a higher profile in getting the word out and, communicating this idea to the public. There are a number of projects that are of interest to commissioners to do with this property. So Jay is leading the what are we going to do with the Broadview Annex research and exploration that we found is a wetland, right? So what a huge opportunity there to showcase that to the community. And then Val has interest in monitoring the vernal pools there. Eileen is a birder, and one of the birding courses that she's taking, they are taking a field trip to Broadview Farm. So there are a lot of compelling reasons why the commissioners have interest in this property. And then the neighbors of this property, so this is why I'll direct your attention to the map now, right? So this is Broadview. I know you all probably know this, but anybody watching at home who doesn't. So this is Broadview Farm. And then here is the Zeke Zarba easement, and here as well. And then, did I write that down? I'll bring this up. This is the Bliss Farm Condo Association that is also under easement. We've got another property under easement here. This is the Albert Doolittle property. And this is the Shepherd Park property. So it's surrounded by other properties that may or may not be able to be, incorporated if we're talking about landscape scale initiatives here. We have these opportunities to kind of reach out. The fire station also is one of our neighbors. So the fire station also abuts right about here, the Broadview Annex. So there's a strong argument that, the neighbors in this, for this property are going to make for a good collaboration. Mm-hmm. And then there's a lot of wildlife diversity and a lot of different types of habitats, including wooded and wetland and open fields, which is unusual for our conservation properties, right? A lot of them, they have one habitat type, but this has those three, including agriculture, right, which is kind of its own habitat type, all in this one parcel. So there's a lot of interesting things going on here from a wildlife perspective. And then it also is, it's not protected. It doesn't have an easement on it. It was protected via this paragraph in the deed here. That you can read right here, this covenant shall be null and void and of no further effect after the expiration of such 25-year period. And that 25-year period began on October 8th, 1998. So it really just, just expired very recently. So, there's a need for a long-term stewardship and preservation plan. So those are the major bullet points about why we're thinking Broadview is the property that we would like to have be the center of this initiative. And then we can have a discussion about what kind of practices we want to promote or improve, right, from that list that Barbara provided. So to reiterate that list is wildlife and habitat diversity. Remember, these are things that we can focus on for this initiative. Wildlife and habitat diversity, water resources, watershed issues can be addressed and downstream impact mitigated. So there is there's a big prime wetland right here, also not all of which is, under protection. So that's definitely a possibility. Invasive species control by removing invasives and restoring native habitat. There's certainly invasive species at Broadview. Bittersweet is the most notable one that I have noticed. And then income potential, larger scale forestry plans and shared costs, trail systems and recreation. There's a really robust trail system already for this property. And there's already recreation happening on it as far as like the campsites that we have there. So there's camping sites. So we've kind of already got that going on. That could be something that we can look at improving. Research and education access. I know we had talked about using that annex wetland area as an education opportunity about wetlands. Long-term stewardship and protection. Again, this property is not currently protected. It's protected by the Conservation Commission, right? But it doesn't have an easement on it. And then sustainable practices for more control over natural resources on the land and help balance conservation and development. Those two don't strike me as, as necessarily fitting, but this is the conversation that we're here to have is confirm that this is the property that we want to go with and start to head in a direction of what types of practices we want to promote and improve on this property.
So I think it's worth adding into this baseline for Broadview is Broadview, as Eileen has mentioned, is already a site for other extension, like the birding, but it's also the NH butterfly tracking
Yes,
site
right.
as well. And then there's, the bat boxes, the bat houses all throughout the field. So there already is some extent of it being a site for educational
There's some bluebird
use.
boxes as well that
Yeah.
the scouts have put up.
Yeah.
And the fur bearer study is also going on.
Yes, right,
Oh.
the tracking, UNH is tracking wildlife diversity on the property.
Yeah.
With the cameras.
That's really
They
awesome.
have been for several years now, so, yeah.
Yeah.
We just renewed that for another 5 years. That
Okay.
Oh, cool. But I think this
Is that fur bearer study, that's a UNH study?
The fur bearer study, yeah, that's UNH.
Okay. Wow, sounds like there's a lot going on in a pretty central property in your community. So I agree. I think this would be a great one to really feature and promote. And I think, we're partnering with UNH on this, this program, so I can access, UNH and extension specialists to help with the program, whether we want to do, a hike or a more focused educational piece, working with, highlighting all those great features and the work that's been done with the New Hampshire butterfly study, fur bearers, and all the birding that's been done on that property as well. Eileen was nice enough to send me some information from Matt Tarr, and it sounds like he's very familiar with the property. So he would probably be, kind of my first choice in as a presenter, I think, or as a workshop leader, because he clearly knows a lot about the property. So if you wanted me to reach out to Matt to see if he'd be able to help in some sort of presentation or hike, or, however we want to structure the program, I'd be happy to reach out to him and see if he has any suggestions on what he would like to focus on or feature on the property.
Thank you, Barbara. Let me do a little housekeeping, just so we can move the discussion forward. First off, I'd like to ask Chris to sit for Bob's Burl. Chris, the alternate, to sit for Bob's Burl for any votes that we may be taking up. So hearing the presentation by the land manager and the added discussion by Barbara, is there anybody on the commission that would be opposed to making Broadview our choice in moving forward on this project? If so, no? Everyone's pretty much... All right, so then why don't we, for a housekeeping purpose, go ahead and call for a vote that my vice chair is going to develop a motion
Right off the top of my head.
right off the top of his head.
I'd like to move that we designate the Broadview property for the NHACC Landscape Scale Management Initiative.
All right, so we have a first. Is there a
I
second?
would second that.
All right, so for Tammy at home, we have a first by Mr. Metz, a second by Eileen, to make Broadview Farm the NHACC Landscape Scale Management Initiative project recipient. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing none, the motion carries. Okay, housekeeping is done. So just to guide the process along, first, next steps on moving the project forward. Barbara, I'm going to hear from you first and then from Beth.
Great. Well, I think it's an excellent project and property that you've chosen, so I'm getting excited about that. I can't wait to get out there and take a look at the property. I think next, if we can just if you have some time to talk a little bit about, again, those areas you want to focus in on, whether it's, the habitat diversity, invasive species, whatever is most exciting about that property that you'd want to make sure to share with abutters and focus in a little bit more on that. We might be able to touch on broadly on several of those topics, so we don't necessarily just have to focus on one. And then I'd like to also discuss time frame and possibly when you think this would be a good program, whether we want to do like a Saturday morning, an afternoon hike, whatever seems to work best for your area would be great to kind of hear from you, whether or not you know that, everybody shows up on a Friday afternoon, that's the best time for us. So just get a little bit of a discussion going on a time frame. It'd be great if we could do this in like May or June, but I'm open to that as well.
All right, so Barbara, just to get to an action item. So our immediate next step is what?
I would say,
just identify a few of those critical areas you want to focus on.
Okay, so we'll have our land manager summarize.
yeah, I would say, so, I mean, this needs to be a discussion
Can
among
we give you input, Beth? Because I
What's
think
that?
can we give you input as commission
Yes.
members?
So
I think that's important.
yeah. So I certainly have an idea of the direction that we can head in, but like now's your time to share. You were able to review the email that I sent, and so now's your time to just share what direction you would like to head in. Yeah.
All right, so why don't we start out with Val? Val, do you have any ideas you want to share?
Yeah, I think Beth and I might be on a similar, thought. We were attending a workshop together and they had mentioned a bio blitz. And I don't know if that's maybe too broad an idea to when they're looking at focusing on the current habitat and then invasives aside. But I think doing a bio blitz invites an educational opportunity to identify both invasives and the native habitat that is there, and kind of get people in the surrounding areas, the nearby community, to say, I'm nearby this. I wonder if those invasives that we found on that walk are on my property. I don't know, just an idea. Identify bugs, butterflies are there, the birding, all included in a bio blitz.
Eileen, do you have some
and
ideas?
Getting back and kind of folding in Margie into the picture. Okay, Margie started the land steward program, and she incorporated several land stewards that actually abut Broadview. I believe it's like Bonnie Lane in particular comes to mind. Do you remember that, Rick?
I do, yeah.
And some of those neighbors may still be there that want to participate in a BioBlitz. I think a BioBlitz is a great idea as one component of focus that we can zero in on.
Any other
To help
components?
with the wildlife habitat. I think also environmental education and research is really important, and I think we're already starting to tackle that with the fur bearer and also the UNH butterfly survey that's ongoing there. I think also we should focus on our trail systems there, seeing what kind of improvements we might want to make on those. I think also looking at the wetlands, like Beth mentioned, that there's a prime wetland system. We should probably be checking our wetlands maps to make sure that we've delineated that prime wetland appropriately and it's current and accurate in terms of its boundaries, and that we pursue also making sure that we get proper protection for the property and also the wetlands that are on the property. Those are the things that I would be most interested in.
All right, Commissioners, thank you, Eileen. Commissioners to my right, Mr. Metz, do you have anything that you would like to concentrate on?
Well, just to echo Eileen, the wildlife habitat, because again, apparently we've got a lot of we got bluebirds, we've got bats, furry things running around. So all of those in that one area in town, that's a very interesting community right there.
Yeah.
She touched on the wetlands. Again, the wetlands are important, and education about what wetlands do, why they're important. So I think those are the 2 or 3 areas that I would concentrate on, but everybody seems to have hit them all. So
Thank you, Mr. Metz. Jay, do you have anything you'd like to concentrate on that hasn't already been discussed?
I just want to reiterate that this Broadview Annex at the southern end of the property is something that can meet all of these needs that I've heard. we want to increase the biodiversity of the plants, and the goal on our resource inventory that was done this fall was that we could consider restoring it into a forest, and also that would increase the wildlife. We're going to study, we don't know yet. I can see the depressions when I drove by the other day.
Right.
There are 3 potential vernal pools there, and we want, Val's ready to dig as soon as she can get out there without sinking in the mud.
I'd love to help with that too, because I have a lot of vernal pool experience.
We want to study those vernal pools, and that will add the value to that property. Also, there is, we do actually have the ability to mow under certain conditions, I found out doing research. We could create paths that are using pervious materials on the perimeter to try to encourage birding and education, signs that could educate on the area. And so I just wanted to note that that's a small package compared to the rest of the property, but it also, another aspect about it, it does have interesting abutters there with the fire department. Couple pipes we heard are maybe going over into that conservation land, and there are a lot of abutters that we could interact with.
Thank you, Jay. Christopher, do you have anything you'd like to talk about that hasn't been talked about already?
Nothing off the top of my head that my fellow commissioners haven't already hit. It's something I would need to personally do more research on to think of other ways.
Yeah, you'll have time to do that. This
Yeah.
is a pretty big. Councilor Foote.
Okay,
Thank you. So the chair likes the idea of wildlife and habitat diversity, and I also, if we go down that road, or if that's part of our project, I'd like to have, as part of the trailhead, a placard that explains the wildlife that is at Broadview Farm, with a description of that wildlife, along with a placard of the different vegetative species that are there, insects, things like that. So I envision a big trailhead. Welcome to Broadview Farm. These are all the things that you'll see here on this trail map. That's where
Great idea.
That's what I like to see as an end game.
I have a question.
That being said, just to be cognizant of the time, Beth and I have this very tight new SOP when it comes to agendas, and we want to kind of stay with it. If we need more time, we can ask for more time, but we're trying to stay on track. Before I ask for any final comments from the commissioners, Barbara, do you have any final comments before we ask for comments from the commissioners and then closure from the land manager?
My only question would be whether it would be possible to meet with the subcommittee. I noticed online Broadview Farm says it's being managed by a subcommittee of the Conservation Commission. Is that still active, or is that something that I could
Community garden.
kind of invigorate to meet with again, to flush more of these ideas out before the next meeting?
Yeah, Barbara, I think that we can probably arrange a meeting with the Land Maintenance Committee. I'm not sure that the subcommittee mentioned on the website is correct. That may have been something I missed in updating our website.
I think that was something of the past.
Yeah, that was from the past, but we can certainly dig deeper in a subcommittee meeting. Yes.
Okay, and then one final question.
There is a community garden subcommittee that.
Okay.
Where that community garden is at Broadview. So maybe the two of those committees should probably be part of this process. Thank you, Barbara. Do you want to wrap it up, Beth? Yep.
Yeah, and just one more question. Did you want me to reach out to Matt Tarr? He's the wildlife biologist that has already done some work on that property, to see if he would be willing to do a hike or a presentation?
He sounds like he would be a great asset.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah,
He has
Barbara, you
6
can-
years' worth of experience
Yeah.
with Broadview.
Barbara,
Excellent.
you
Okay.
can work with, Beth is going to be our point person on this,
Yep.
and she'll backfeed the commission and get our intentions, so
Yep.
you can work directly with her on that.
Right, and because I know that Barbara, you had mentioned that you wanted to discuss a time frame and a day and time, and I think that you and I can work on that also, unless we want to nail a date down with the commissioners here. But I think that maybe a future meeting where more of the commissioners are here, we can nail a date down.
Great. And if I talk to Matt Tarr, that might also
Yeah.
determine what's available.
Right,
Well, thank
'cause
you
he's
very
gonna
much
be
for your
pretty busy.
time.
Yeah. All right, great.
Yeah,
So
he is.
So just to wrap up, it sounds like we've got the main thread here is wildlife diversity and cataloging the wildlife, and we've got some other interests with the wetlands and the trail systems, but our main thread is going to be cataloging the wildlife there, and we'll see what comes of that. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds very
All
good.
right, excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Commissioners, while Beth is getting situated before we move into community reports, I just want to, Jay sent me a nice clip. Jay?
Yeah.
And I just want to read it because there was some concern, and we were a little unsure about what the mowing procedure was at the annex. And so Jay found this on the DES website. And the question was, can I cut or remove trees and other vegetation in a wetland? So the answer is, mowing and other cutting of vegetation, including trees within wet meadows or forested wetlands, is authorized by State Administrative Rules 30902(a), if certain conditions are met. And those conditions are 3 bullets: roots are not disturbed, ground is frozen or dry enough to avoid making ruts, and the project is not located in a bog, designated prime wetland, or duly established 100-foot buffer, marsh, or tidal buffer zone. Obviously, the last half of that doesn't apply to us because that would be something located in the seacoast. There are limitations on removing vegetation adjacent to many surface waters, it goes on to say. So I was glad to see that because I think there was some question on whether or not that mowing was really an allowed use, and it looks like based on the time we did it and what we did, it wasn't allowed use. So I just want to share that with the commission and the public. All right, next we have committee reports, and we're going to put you on the spot tonight. We're going to ask you very briefly, and this is a project that Beth, Val, and I are working on. We're going to develop a mission statement for a new mission statement for the Conservation Commission, and it's going to be kind of fed by Val's interviews with commissioners. And some of the answers we get back on this. Briefly define the role of your committee at the close of your committee report. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that and our mission statement and come up with mission statements for the committees. Follow that?
Mission statements for each of the committees.
Yes, we'll have a big mission statement for the commission, and then we'll have individual mission statements for each committee.
Cool.
So that way, 15 years from now, when Mr. Metz gets dedicated a property and a plaque for being a commissioner, that group of commissioners and that group of committees will know exactly why they exist and what they're doing. Because right now, we're doing the best we can. Okay? So, first off, community garden. Jay, what do you got?
So we did have a meeting with the Community Gardens Subcommittee on February 9th. It was very productive. I had many ideas, and
Jay, sorry to interrupt you, but just one interruption I forgot to say. So we're trying to time the meeting. So we're trying to limit committee reports to 3 minutes each.
Yeah.
just be cognizant of the time so we can keep moving forward. Go ahead, sorry, Jay.
Okay, sure. So we have many ideas and needs were ruled out as unneeded or untimely, and we were left with a list. And I came up with an agenda for the next meeting because as part of what we did was agree to have a monthly meeting. So the topics we're going to focus in for the upcoming season is our events, planning the details, and how can we use our social media in communicating with our gardeners, education of our gardening communities and awareness for the dairy citizens at large, organic matter procurement, soil testing, soil analysis shows that we are very low on organic matter and potassium, both which would be added sufficiently by trying to procure various sources for organic matter. We need to know who are the contacts and what yards are available, what are the places where we could place them to rest for a while they compost. What are the methods of delivery? That's going to be the agenda for the next meeting. Where should we put the piles and how much to incorporate into the soil before we till in the spring? We also have the matter of the cemetery leaves, where to put them. So, again, I said we're going to extend this to a monthly meeting of the subcommittee, and we're also invited the gardening community. Beth sent out an email to the list of gardeners. We do have one who's committed to being on the next meeting, which will be March 9th. So we'll also create meeting dates going forward for our planning. So what I believe the community gardening subcommittee is all about is indeed, in the words, community. We want to build the community, an excellent community, and we are focused around gardening, and we want to do that. We want to pursue excellence in the gardening, all the activities from the soil to the plants to the harvest, and have many events. Try to have events to focus those two together, meld them together, get our community together to talk about gardening and do events in gardening. That's it.
Thank you, Jay. Did you guys get some of that? Good. All right, next we have Mr. Metz, personnel.
Personnel, we deal with interviewing and hiring our employees, of which we have 2 now, so it's not a tough job. Tammy is our recording secretary. Beth is our land manager. We also conduct reviews every once in a while for performance and pay. So far, we haven't had any issues with either of you, so that's a good thing. Beth's doing an outstanding job, much more than I think Rick and I had envisioned her doing when we hired her, but that's a good thing because she's aggressive and wants to do things. And I appreciate Tammy because she's always here. She does a great job, obviously under the weather tonight, so that's basically personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Metz. Cheryl's not here for public outreach, so there's no report. We'll ask her to report out next time. TRC, Mr. Metz, you're up again.
TRC is a technical review committee, and those are held.
Excuse me one second, Ms. Metz. At the end of your committee report, you can tell us what the TRC is all about. Because did you have any TRC business?
No business for TRC, but we do have 2 coming up Friday.
Someone joining you at the next meeting?
Yes, Beth is going to be joining me, and I'm going to get you a little annotated book, like I have.
Ooh, la
'cause
la.
It's tabbed to cover the things that we have a purview or an interest in the land development regs.
Oh,
So
that's
that
great.
it's in two properties.
Great.
One is very conservation intense. The other is a rebuild. So
So you didn't
it's interesting.
You didn't have Barry since our last meeting?
No,
Okay. All
no,
right.
Friday, coming Friday.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
And the TRC
TRC
subcommittee?
stands for Technical Review Committee, where developers of properties come in, and it's a committee of all the boards and departments: fire, police, planning, zoning, inspection, public works. All of those get all together, go over the plans, and each division provides notes to the developer. It was developed several years ago in order to streamline it rather than going department to department. All the departments come in the room together, and it's all hashed out at the same time. So, and everybody knows what everybody does, so it makes it a lot easier to do it that way.
Thank you, Mr. Metz. Any report on state compliance, Eileen? And at the end of your compliance,
have a
just
report.
tell us what your
I wanted
subcommittee is.
everyone to know about a land resources permitting workshop that DES is giving. It's primarily for applicants and contractors, but I think Beth, if she's available, might be interested in attending, just to find out what applicants and contractors, what kind of information they're getting about what kind of information they should be presenting to us when they apply for wetlands permits. There's an attendance limit to 140 guests, and it requires online pre-registration. There is a link if you are interested. Beth, I'll give you that link. And it goes from 8 to 4. There's quite a few areas that get covered: wetlands permitting, shoreland permitting, alteration of terrain, wetlands rule revisions, which are important to us, the ecological review program, helpful hints, Subsurface Systems Bureau rules relevant to septic designers. And that's pretty much it. And they also talk about the common mistakes that can be made in wetlands permitting and shoreline permitting, so I think that's going to be important. They also give you a certificate of attendance for contact hours if you're interested in that. And as far as the state compliance committee, what I envisioned it being is looking at DES to see what sort of wetlands rules have, changed or been updated, what their focus is, and making sure that we provide the commission members with updates on what pertains to us as a commission, and including what's going on with their wetlands program plan. They have a program plan that goes from 2024 to 2029, and that lays out for 5 years what their focus is going to be. And that's something we need to take notice of and take hold of, so that we understand what our role is as conservation commissioners with respect to wetlands. And I also want to say too, also part of the state compliance is making sure also that we incorporate awareness of workshops and environmental education opportunities for our commission members, which I've been doing all along, so.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
important. That's very important, Eileen. Thank you, Eileen. Next, we have property management. On property management, we're still working with an abutter of a conservation property that has a tree issue that we're trying to sort out. We haven't sorted it yet, but we're still working it. We had a second constituent reach out to myself regarding a problem with a dog. This person was walking a dog at Broadview, and there was an incident with another dog, and Beth and I have been working that problem, and we do have something we're going to put up at Broadview Farm. We'll probably take that up under other business. I want to hear from Beth on her report before we do that. So we're working that issue. And so the subcommittee on property management deals with more the administrative portion of the properties that we have. So an abutter has a problem with a conservation property, something happens on a conservation property, the property management subcommittee handles those problems and either hands them off to the appropriate town department or tries to resolve them internally. Next report is land acquisition, which I'm also chair of. Land acquisition, we will go into a non-public after this, at the end of this meeting. We are still working 2 properties, and we have a 3rd property now that was brought to my attention recently. We'll be discussing all 3 of those properties at our non-public. The Land Acquisition Subcommittee is a committee that interacts with people that want to put their properties in conservation easements and seeks properties to go into conservation easements. So it's the responsibility of the subcommittee to facilitate the inflow of potential conservation properties into the commission. Next off, we have reporting compliance, and that is Val.
Okay, so reporting compliance report. First and foremost, we did receive a check from the New Hampshire Land and Community Heritage Program, LCHIP, for acknowledgement of the 2025 annual monitoring report. It is a total of $550.
Yahoo? That's because of your good work.
Yeah, from that monitoring report, yeah, from the end of the year there. Yep. So I'll hand this check off to Eileen. I'm not sure if I need to say what account or whatever it's supposed to go for.
Eileen, do we need to make a motion for you to deposit that in the administrative account?
Yeah, I would.
All right, so we need a motion. We're going to deposit that in the admin account. I'll entertain a motion to that. Yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead.
may I try?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to deposit a check from LCHIP of $550 to the Conservation Commission's administrative account.
Second.
So you have a first by Val, second by Mr. Metz, to deposit a $550 check into the to authorize the treasurer to deposit a check into the administrative account. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That's unanimous. Okay, you're still on, Val.
Yep, still up. So along the lines of reporting, the 2025 report for Martin property was not due. LCIP, different from LCHIP, reached out to us to make sure that we were still on the ball with that. It sounded like maybe the reports have been a little sparse the last few years. I did attempt a walk in the 3 feet of snow. Wow. My snowshoes were not enough. So I trekked back out from the field, walked up and down the property, used my camera to kind of get some of the boundary lines for where the residents really come up close. Everything looks to be in order. I'm currently working on that. We'll be submitting it for the 2025 makeup, and then later, probably Q2, Q3, get in an actual nice season report for 2026 for that property to be done right. And I believe that is all I have for reporting compliance. And I guess.
Yeah, the responsibility of the reporting compliance subcommission.
So as we've been going through this project, I already have some up on each committee, so I'm just going to read off what I have for mine. So the purpose of our committee is to manage and oversee required reporting and documentation obligations of the Conservation Commission. This includes preparing and coordinating annual reports, grant reporting, monitoring documentation, and other records required by funding agencies, state programs, or municipal policies to ensure transparency, accuracy, and accountability.
Wow,
Fantastic.
that's excellent.
That's
Cool.
we can use that verbatim. That's like the perfect description.
Cool.
Thank you, Val. You're still up. Net
Yeah.
Zero Task Force.
I actually have nothing new to report on this one. I have been down and out, so I did miss the last meeting. The one thing I guess I will say on that is I said I was working on a project for them, and I did still submit that. There's a brochure and a flyer for some programming and bills they're working on. So I submitted that. They sent me an email that they liked it, and we'll have more to discuss at the next meeting when I'm able to attend. Thank you.
Okay, and what's the responsibility of that subcommittee?
Oh, yes. So the Net Zero Task Force is a separate task force that the Conservation Commission has a representative that serves on it, and their focus is to bring the municipal facilities of the town of Derry down to be net zero. And they had an initial goal of 2025, so I've yet to learn on the progress of meeting that goal. And as well as that, they kind of work toward educational opportunities for residents themselves to work toward, making their homes net zero, making their homes a little bit more closed off and up to code, make sure everything's up to environmental codes and stuff like that. So I'm currently the representative that sits on that task force.
Great, thank you, Val. Okay, before we have our land manager report, I wanted to let you know that Beth is going to make herself available by telephone to a commissioner that may want to chat. I want to make it clear that I want to be the person that sets her priorities in her agenda. So it'll be a conversation for it, but I don't want it to interrupt the kind of flow that we have, because we're working at a very high flow. So the discussion would probably happen between a commissioner and Beth, and then during our weekly call, Beth and I will discuss that, and then we'll prioritize it based on our priority schedule. So someone wants to talk to Beth or have her work on something, she's making herself available by phone if you don't want to do the email thing. Yeah. And she'll tell you when she's going to be available for that.
Yeah.
Take it away, Beth.
All right. And so, one, you can always email me. I just know that sometimes a phone call is easier, right, when you're running around doing things. So if you prefer a phone call, then you are free to do that. On Mondays would be the best day for me to have a phone call. And I guess to that effect, my mission, right, is to help all of you with your missions, right? So please reach out to me if you do need help with something, right? All right, so land manager report. We had an inquiry from regarding the cornfield at Broadview, and we're working on that, on creating a lease that we'll bring to the commission at some point. We also received a written request from a resident requesting that dog leashes be made compulsory at Broadview. So I did some research into the laws around that, and we know that Derry does not have a leash law, but we do have a law that says it shall be unlawful to permit any dog to run at large. And running at large is defined as off the premises of the owner or keeper and not under the immediate control of the owner or keeper of a responsible age. So we do have, we thought to just post that existing law at Broadview as a reminder for people, and to maybe make someone who maybe encounter a dog who's off leash feel as though they know, yes, that it is the law that someone has to have their dog under their control.
Beth, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
So we're going to need, maybe at the end of your presentation, we have a copy of what we want to post at Broadview. I feel it appropriate that we should read it and vote it as a commission.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ever be in the position of just putting random signs everywhere. So I want commissioners to be on board or not on board. So when Beth is done, Vice Chair Metz is going to read the sign, and we'll vote it either yay or nay if we want to put it up or not. Thank you, Beth.
Yep. And then I did hear back from 6 commissioners about picking up your packets for the Ashley Drive, so I was trying to coordinate that, and we do have packets here for anybody who wasn't able to pick theirs up yet. And then, let's see, we fleshed out the details of the standard operating procedure for creating the agenda, and some notable changes, trying to keep to a timetable, and having dates of future meetings at the end of the agenda. We'll also have a set of questions to consider if a commissioner would like to request that something be added to the agenda to just help that process move smoothly. We had a report of a potential encroachment at Broadview, and I was able to investigate and record those findings using an ArcGIS map that Doug Rathburn set up for us. It was very helpful, so we can now pinpoint where an encroachment is or where any issue is, and actually see it where it is physically in space on the map there. So we did find that there was encroachment of no trespassing signs posted within the bounds of Broadview, and we sent a letter to that, the owner of the no trespassing signs, asking that they be removed. The CWPP, the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, team met twice in February to work on creating our wildland-urban interface zones, and we are starting to form our plan for public outreach, which includes scheduling a date for a public panel discussion about the CWPP, so that stay tuned for more. I helped coordinate the ceremony for Margie, met with Clint to identify a new location for the leaves from the cemetery, and I'm happy to show anybody who wants to see that location in the spring. I know Eileen had reached out about that. Barbara Richter sent us some info about bobolinks so we could determine the best management practices for the shepherd field, which is currently mowed multiple times a year, and I knew that bobolinks, for bobolink breeding, you're only supposed to mow once a year in August. But the shepherd field is less than the 10 acres that bobolinks need to breed in, so not an issue. I met with the community garden subcommittee and updated your contact sheet, which you should have a fresh copy of, and started reviewing the files on the second floor. We do not need to keep the dredge and fill permits from the 70s that are currently stored in the files there.
Are you sure? It's a legal document.
We'll know where to find it.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to them?
They'll be recycled.
They'll be recycled.
Yes.
Shredded.
It's not necessary. It's not like confidential information that we have to get rid of. That's public information on DES.
And the town clerk has record of it all.
So we're certain that DES still has those?
Yes, I verified that.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as they still have some.
Yes, I guess that's what I mean
Because
by
you
we
can
do not
always
need to keep
have-
that. I mean, I verified that we do
I
not
can
need
say
to
this
keep that.
with experience, is you can always have an issue, okay? Even those permits are really old, okay? You can always have an issue that comes up with a piece of property that makes you want to go back to the beginning of time, if you will, okay? And sometimes we have to do that. There are times when we have to do that to say, hey, wow, I remember way back when this happened over here, and we should look at that, you know? And so if you have absolutely no record of it because DES didn't have a record of it, then we have a problem.
Okay, I can verify with,
You can't have that reach back that you need.
Okay. We received an inquiry from an abutter to the Ball property asking if snowmobiles are allowed there, and clarification on what access they have and what access the public has. And so I reached out to them. The snowmobiles are not disallowed, so they are allowed on the property, and the access that they were questioning is just for town employees to access the property through that abutter's property that had the inquiry. So, and then I prepared the presentation for this program, and we're working on getting a land maintenance committee meeting together so that we can schedule all kinds of fun things to do this year. And yes, trying to find the balance between giving you way too much nitty gritty and not, just saying like, oh yeah, everything's going good. So anyway, there's my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Beth. So before we do council liaison, Councilor Foote, we're going to make this motion for the sign at Broadview.
Right, I'm going to propose a motion for this sign to be posted at Broadview as read. According to Part 2, Chapter 20, Article 1 of the Derrytown Ordinance, quote, "It shall be unlawful to permit any dog to run at large." See definition. Running at large is defined as off the premises of the owner or keeper and not under the immediate control of the owner or keeper of a responsible age. Please be aware that if a dog is not on a leash, it must remain under the immediate and reliable voice control of its keeper at all times. Derry Conservation Commission.
It's reasonable.
So there's a motion to post that at the sign at Broadview by Mr. Metz. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Val and Jay. Any discussion on this motion?
I've also
Karen?
had issues.
What's that?
I've also had issues, so I'm for that.
Yeah, we're, so let's vote this first. So no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We're also having we're investigating, the other problem at Broadview is so, it's so common for dog walking that there's a problem with dog refuse there.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
To a point that I had a constituent tell me that he won't go there anymore because the smell is so overbearing. So Beth and I are working with Tina.
Yep.
Yeah, with Tina at the town, and we're getting there's some of the surrounding communities have definitive rules regarding dealing with dog refuse, and we're exploring those rules now. So stay tuned. Councilor Foote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Real quick, we have a town council meeting tomorrow. We have a couple public hearings on apply for and accepting grant funding related to Phase 2A and 2B of the Southern New Hampshire Regional Water Interconnection Project. So that's important. Basically, that's giving water to Wyndham, for Hampstead, Atkinson, Salem, whatnot. So that is public hearing. So if anyone wishes to speak on that or hear more about it, please come tomorrow night. We also will be discussing under new business the 5 collective bargaining agreements. Hopefully we'll vote on those tomorrow.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And most importantly, we have an election coming up March 10th. That is going to be at Pinkerton Academy at the Hackler Gymnasium. Voting times will be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that will be school board members, town councilors, library trustees, and I can't remember the one, trustee of the trust funds and whatnot. We also do have an open spot on the town council. We had a resignation. So we will disseminate that information tomorrow night at the town council meeting. We will discuss what that looks like for an application, if anybody's interested in putting in for that. That will be a 1-year term. That will be effective until the next regular scheduled election, which should be next year.
So are you going to elect for that seat?
It'll be a 1-year appointment.
It's going to be appointed?
Yes. So it has nothing to do with the upcoming election. It'll be just an appointment by the council.
So the council's going to just appoint someone for the seat?
Yes.
And the last seat, and then you'll have okay.
So just tomorrow night, we'll disclose what that looks like moving forward and how that process is going to be done. Most likely, it's going to be people put an application in, and we'll have an end date to that, and then there'll be an appointment. And again, that'll be effective only for 1 year until the next regular election. Then that next election next year will be for 1 year to finish out that 3-year term of that position.
Gotcha.
So.
And I know that we have 2 open permanent member seats and 1 open alternate seat that are getting renewed this year. So if anybody wants to join us on the commission, you can put your name in for what you guys are voting that, the second March meeting?
Second March meeting, which, March 26th it will be. So, yeah, because right now I think it's March 31st is what the terms go to. So that next meeting will, March 26th. So don't do it March 25th, do it before that so we can have it on the agenda to vote on the 26th.
Do we have that date, Beth?
Yeah, the 23rd.
All right, so
yeah.
If you want to join the commission, March 23rd is the day you want to have your name in. You can do it electronically on the town website. You can also reach out to Sheila in the administrator's office. We have 1 vacancy for an alternate. We don't have vacancies, but we have 2 members that have to renew as full members, and we have 1 member that has to renew as an alternate, but those seats remain open, and they're at the council's pleasure of who gets appointed in those seats. So if you're interested, put your name in. Anything else, Mr. Foote?
Yeah, nope. And the 23rd, is that you have, Beth? 23rd?
That's per Tina Gulliford, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a Monday. My suggestion would be do it the week before because the town council agenda gets put out on Friday afternoons. So I would do it before that, otherwise it won't be on it won't be discussed on that 26th.
What's the Thursday before that meeting? When would that be?
That would be the 16th, right? A week before March 23rd would be the 16th.
Coming up quick.
Because typically what happens is the town council agendas for Tuesday meetings get posted on Friday, end of day on Friday.
So it'll be the 19th, right?
That's best.
That's Friday the 19th. So if you want to be considered for a seat on the Conservation Commission, you would have your name into Sheila by the 19th of March. Anything else, Mr. Foote?
That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foote. Okay, administrative business. Our next meeting is March 16th. It's going to be a busy meeting. We have the Ashley Drive easement. So we're going to have the presenters here. I want everybody to put eyes on that easement paperwork. Get your questions ready for them for when they're here on the 16th. Beth is going to do some work on that. She's going to try to figure out how much time it's going to take to get our portion of that easement responsibility done on an annual basis, because we have a big kind of role in that easement on monitoring it. So there is in that paperwork, you'll see that they've made an offer to the commission to fund some of that, and we want to make sure that offer is an appropriate amount of money. So I'll be working with Beth on that, and we'll have a discussion on that on the 16th. We've also added all of the proposed meeting dates. We do have to make one adjustment, that there will only be one meeting in May, which will be on May 4th. There will not be a meeting on May 18th. So if you could adjust that, Beth.
Okay.
We're going to be putting our next meeting date and then probably the following two on the agenda every year. Maybe next time we'll put them all on again. Yeah, let's do that. So next meeting on the 16th, we're going to put all of our dates on again. And then moving forward after that, we'll put the next 2 or 3 meetings. But the next meeting agenda will show our schedule for the summer.
Okay. And you know what? I apologize. There's June 1st and June 15th, but there should only be one meeting in June, so I must have misstepped there.
Sure.
So what's
June,
the
July,
meeting?
August, we
The
only meet
first-
once historically, I
first week of
think.
June? Which one is the June meeting?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm not put them both on there, but I'm pretty sure there's only
No,
supposed to be one.
I have one. I have June 1st and 15th.
You have both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Because I had, Mr. Metz, I had you for that June 15 date.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay, so just July, August, and September then that have
Yeah.
one meeting.
And then
Okay.
you have to take that one out in May just because we don't have a chair.
Yeah.
Neither of us, well, Mr. Metz and I are both traveling.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to do that just to make planning kind of, this new agenda process is trying to make planning easier. So I want to get an idea when we're going to be done so you can tell the people that care about you what time you got to be home. That's our goal, is to try to have a target time to end, so you can tell people when you're going to be here and when you're not going to be here. It's going to be a moving target because things can go a little longer, but at least we're trying to get to some sort of effective time management. All right, so that being that, other business we have is, I told you about March 16th, Ashley Drive. Mr. Metz, do you have agenda language you want to change on the... Do you have language you want to change for the adjournment time on the agenda?
Not for this meeting, sir. I will for next time.
Okay, so we'll, as we continue to adjust the agenda, we may tweak our adjournment time a little bit, but right now we're going to stay, and we're close. We're at 8:25. We're going to probably have a 15-minute non-public, so we won't hit the 8:30 mark, but we'll be close. Is there any other business by the commissioners that you want to bring up before we go into non-public?
I just wanted to mention something to folks. I'm an active member and a plant conservation volunteer with the Native Plant Trust, in addition to doing the Dairy Conservation Commission. And an email came to me recently that was interesting and offers a lot of different course offerings, as well as opportunities if you wanted to become a plant conservation volunteer. There's some training coming up for that. So if you are interested, just get in touch with me and I'll give you the information. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Anyone else, any other commissioners that want to join, have anything to say before we go into non-public? Seeing none, Charlie, help me with the protocol one more time. So we're not adjourning, we're just going into non-public
Non-public, gather non-public, come back,
and adjourn.
adjourn the meeting.
Okay, all right,
We have to come out
so,
of non-public,
Come on, non-public,
seal the minutes, then adjourn the meeting.
okay.
or however you want to seal them,
That's,
and
got it.
then go.
Okay. And before we do that, Beth, do you want to get invited to non-public?
Sure.
Yes, Charlie, do you want to get invited to non-public? Okay, so Mr. Metz.
Move to go into non-public session per RSA 91A3, Section 2, for the purpose of land acquisition.
So there's a first by Mr. Metz. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Eileen. We need a roll call vote on this, starting to my right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Need a motion to invite the land manager and the council liaison to that non-public.
Move to invite Beth Carver and Charlie Foote into the meeting.
Second?
First by Mr. Metz, second by Eileen. We need a roll call vote, starting to my right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. So we are in non-public.